going to be learning about total surface area of a cylinder. So when we're thinking about total surface area, it's just what it says. It's everything, the measurements of everything. So think of your Pringles can. The wrapper, the top, and the bottom. So we want to know everything. What's the surface area of the whole thing? So the very first thing we always need to do is write the formula, guys. Write your formula. So your formula for total surface area, so we're going to put in TA, is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared, okay? So we've written our formula, right? So let's identify what we have. So we have R in our formula, and you should always know that R is radius. We also have H in our formula. H is always height. And we have pi, and you should know that pi is 3.14. So this is all your key things that is in your formula here. Okay? So looking at our cylinder, it's laid out on this side. So this 15 here, this 15 is our height. Okay? So then, that gave us 10. If you notice, this line goes from one end of your circle to the other end of your circle. So is that radius or is that diameter? This is your diameter. So your diameter is 10. Remember, if you take your diameter and you divide it by 2, that's your radius. Okay? So if we take 10 and we divide it by 2, you should get what? You should get 5. So your radius is 5. Okay? So now we're ready to plug everything into our formula. Again, we have 2 separate formulas combined. So you have TA, because we need total surface area, is 2. Pi is always 3.14. Our height, even though it's laying on its side, is still 15. Our radius is 5. So we bring our plus. We have our 2. We have pi again. And we have our radius 5, but it's squared. Okay? Guys, do you see how I put this squared on the inside of the parentheses? It has to go on the inside, because if you put it on the outside of your parentheses, then you're telling your calculator that you wanted to square the whole thing. You don't. You only wanted to square your 5. Okay? So now we're going to bring out our calculator. And we're going to take piece by piece. So on your calculator, you have 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 15. And that should give you 471. So we have an equal sign. 471. Plus, now we need to do this part. So now, 5 squared, which is just 5 times 5, which is 25. So you have 2 times 3.14 times 5 squared. When you do that, you get 157. Okay? So now we need to add it together. So 471 plus 157 gives us what? 628. And you still need your units, which is inches. Okay? Okay, guys, so now we're going to practice what? Two examples of total surface area of a cylinder. So, first things first, always and forever, I'm always going to write my formula. So, TA equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Okay. Next, I need to label what they gave me. This 8 is my what? My height. Alright? And this 5 is my what? If you notice, does this line go from end to end on your circle? No. So therefore, this 5 is my radius. Okay? So we have our information. Let's get to plugging it in. Okay? So we have TA equals 2. Open parentheses, pi is always what? 3.14. Our radius is 5. Our height is 8. Okay? That's the first half. Now we need the back part. We bring our 2 down. We have our pi. And we have our 5 squared because that is our radius. Okay? So, at this time, I want you to pull out your calculator. And I want you to calculate that first part. Calculate that and see if you get the same answer that I come up with. Okay? It's multiplying straight across. 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 8. So when you did that, you should have got 251.2. Bring our plus down. Now multiply this. 2 times 3.14 times 5 squared. I got what? 157. So when you add them all together, 157 plus 251.2, you get what? 408.2 units is in inches. Never forget your units, guys. Okay? Okay. So now we're on to our last example problem. Our cylinder is just turned on its side. So, first things first, let's get that formula written out. TA equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Secondly, we're going to label what they gave us. So we have 6 is our what? Height. This 8, okay? Now, our line goes from endpoint to endpoint. So that is our what? Is that radius or diameter? That is diameter. Okay? So you're going to take that 8, because remember, when you take your diameter, you divide it by 2 to get your radius, so 8 over 2 is what? 4. So our radius is 4. So we're ready to plug in. TA equals 2. Pi is 3.14. Our radius we found out was 4. Our height is 6. So the next side we have 2 pi, 3.14. Our radius is 4 squared. So pull out your calculator. Let's get calculating. So we have 2 times 3.14 times 4 times 6, which gives us 150.72 plus 2 times 3.14 times 4 squared, which gives us 100.48. So we're going to add those together. 100.48 plus 150.72. And you should have got what? You should have gotten 251.2. And our units is centimeters. Okay? So again, guys, always remember, step 1 should always be to write your formula. Step 2 should always be to label the picture that they gave you, okay? Write your formula. The more you write it, the more you remember it, all right?